black soap. So like what I do, I used to make soap, but then I started using African black soap base. So what I do with African black soap, I crumble it all up, and then I almost liquefy it, I guess you say. But then I also mix, jojoba oil, avocado oil, black seed oil, tea tree oil, and all those type of stuff. So then it turns into a paste. So that's what it is that I use. I use it on my kids, and even my 1-year-old daughter. I don't know, about the, the block. I haven't had any problems with the actual block, but making sure that it comes from Ghana, or, one of those places, as opposed to just something that people are selling in a regular store, or even like Jamaican stores. They often carry it, and it's like wrapped up in Reynolds, not Reynolds wrap,
like cellophane or something,
right? Parchment paper or something like that. Like that's all natural. And then you can also tell, because like with African black soap, because of what it's made out of, it doesn't mold. So like if you see some and it has a lot of white on it, it's like real chalky looking, you know what I'm saying? And it's not brown, then whatever it is that they use into it, that is actually mold that's growing on it. It just doesn't look like, your traditional mold that you would find, if you leave a banana somewhere or something like that. But that is actual mold, so that is not what you want to use. You want to use African black soap that still has that brown, tannish brown color to it. It looks.
I was wondering.
Like got some dirt and just put it in a block.
I was wondering what that other stuff was. It didn't look healthy though, and I don't hear good reviews about it whenever I see it online.
I just want to say real quick, the kind that I see my family make, it does have sticks and stuff in it, but it's sifted out and then they do something else to it. Just for, I don't know about what you see because I don't shop for it here. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer in there, but yeah.
That's the traditional way. It's made out of cocoa pod ash. So they burn, cocoa pod ash, coconut shells and husks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they do have, it'll be a little bit of debris and stuff like that. Is how they make it though. It's the old traditional way of, because what it does, like that cocoa pod ash has natural lye in it. So they don't actually add the chemical lye that a lot of some people use to make soap. You have to have a lot of mixed soap, but they just actually use the natural occurring lye in cocoa pod ash in order to make it. So there's always little sticks and stems, things like that inside of it.
Hi guys,
absolutely right.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Were you done? Wait.
What would be considered a natural lye? I'm sorry, I'm listening to everybody. This is actually a really interesting conversation. I'm actually really into herbs, like internal and also things that you use as like topical and different oils and stuff that I make. But I've never made soap. So what would be considered a natural lye?
Burning cocoa pod ash. So it's a chemical reaction that occurs that creates the lye. But like there's companies who actually they synthesize it, right? So it's synthesized lye, and it does the same purpose. So it's very what's the word? It can burn your skin. So it's a powder. It's a powder that you can burn your skin. So a lot of soap makers, whenever you make soap, they use the actual chemical lye, and you have to let your soap cure for weeks or months, or depending upon how much lye it is that you use. Because what the lye does is it's called solidification. It turns the lye to allow it to make soap, but it doesn't bother your skin once you use it. It's just what creates the suds and gives it the cleansing properties. But coconut husks have natural occurring lye, and there's another type of plants.
Plantain and banana also a natural type of lye. And that's why African black soap is actually much softer, because it's made with what is called potash or potash. And when you get the natural soap that like most of us make, that most soap makers are going to make, which is like a much harder bar, is made with that sodium hydroxide. So in order to make soap, you do have to sodium hydroxide and lye. And it's just something that's more accessible to most soap makers now. So most countries like Africa, where they're making the African black soap, they have the access to potash And we have some access to potash as well. But if you want to use it like in large bulk, it's just a matter of like not taking too much from the earth. And then so the synthetic works in that effort. But like Doc said, during that 4 to 6 week period, the sodium hydroxide actually dissolves out of the soap, so it becomes an inactive ingredient. But in order to make bar soap, you have to use sodium hydroxide. In order to make liquid soap, you have to use potassium hydroxide mixed with fats, with animal fats or vegetable oils.
Okay, so once the soap is actually cured, it doesn't have much of an effect. The lightness of the sodium hydroxide doesn't have much of an effect on your skin. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, so after the 4 to 6 week period, the sodium hydroxide is considered to be inactive. You can use soap technically like the day, well, when you're making like cold process, you can use the soap technically like the day after you make it, but it can be more harsh. So if you hear like our grandmas or any old people be like, where that lye soap? Like, I want that lye soap, that hard soap, because that's what they're used to. Like, they're used to the hot process soap pretty much, where they were making it over the stove and they were using it like the day after. So it was a much harsher soap, but it was cleaning them really well, but it was just much harsher. And even like the potash in some cases, that's why some of us may feel like that stinging and that burn from the African black soap can be harsh in some instances too. But the sodium hydroxide, just over time, scientists and chemists have just found that over that 4 to 6 week curing period, it becomes inactive and it's less harsh.
Interesting.
I'm a soap maker, y'all. So I've been doing this for about 5 years. I naturally got into soap making 5 or 6 years ago. So just diving deep, going into soap making. And one of the questions that a lot of people always ask is about sodium hydroxide. Even people who want to make soap, that's always like their reserve is actually like working with that sodium hydroxide. But the thing is, like, you want to make natural soap on that mass base and actually like produce that good lather, like Jock was saying as well. You got to use the sodium hydroxide in it, but it's just ways around it. But you can use your natural ingredients to balance it out, I feel like, because I've had people attack me as well, like, oh, you use sodium hydroxide in your soap is not like really natural soap, but all of the other ingredients that you are using like that, even if you use animal fat, but I like to only use vegetable oils, but even if you're just using like a lot of vegetable oils, that can help with like acne. Like, we even make a tea tree and turmeric soap, and a lot of people have found that helps with like acne and scarring, just pairing those together and just allowing that soap to cure, but you can still use that type of soap on your face. You use bar soap and liquid soap on your face.
If anybody tells you that they don't have lye in their soap to try to get some sales and stuff,
it's a lie.
It's a lie. They lying about the lie.
They lying about lye. You have to use lye in order to make soap. I've seen so many people like, does anybody make, because they read about it and says, oh, well, lye is not good. The problem is the people who are making soap, they're not letting their soap cure because they're trying to get it off, and people are burning themselves. So then, it became a misnomer. Oh, well, you shouldn't buy soap with lye in it. But in order to make soap, you have to use lye. Like, there's no way around it.
I have a question for where is she? Taran. What is a staple herb for the skin that you use in your soaps? Like, I know you have different varieties, but I feel like everyone has a staple go-to herb.
So my staple go-to herb is turmeric, honestly. Like, whenever people come into, I have a brick and mortar store as well, so a lot of people come in and they'll be like, what can I use for acne, or what can I use to fix? Well, us as people of color, we deal with hyperpigmentation a lot, so a lot of people are asking about different things for hyperpigmentation and evening out the complexion. So my go-to herb, I always tell them, is turmeric. Our best-selling products are the ones that use turmeric, and even when I was like researching early on, I found that like turmeric was just really, really good for getting deep down and helping to even out the complexion. It can help to like brighten up your skin as well and give it that glow. And it doesn't like stain our skin too much. And it helps with the melanin that we have as well. And then another one that I also recommend would be activated charcoal. Like, activated charcoal is like deeply cleansing, gets deep into the pores and draws out impurities as well.
I have a quick question about the activated charcoal. If you have sensitive skin or something like rosacea, would you recommend still using that?
I would recommend giving it a skin test to see if it works with your skin per se. My first go-to that I would recommend is the turmeric, because turmeric is anti-inflammatory. as well as tea tree. So even combining those two together, they're anti-inflammatory. I know rosacea beat red spots, so it helps with red spots as well.
Thank you.
Miss Carrie, rose water helps with rosacea as well as psoriasis also. So.
Yes. The thing with rose water is there's so many just like janky ones. Like it's very hard to find. I've actually found a company that's pretty good, but it's one of those things where I feel like they sneak a lot of fragrances in.
You do get some. I mean, I sell it. But I mean, Bulgarian. So what I used to make it, but then I found a supplier Bulgarian. What I use is Bulgarian rose water. That's one that I found. They don't use any chemicals or anything like that. It's straight distilled water and steamed rose petals, and that's it. Like the fragrance that you smell from it is actually from the rose petals and nothing else.
And that's called Bulgarian what?
That's good to know. I'm gonna try it. Thank you.
That's called Bulgarian. What is it called? That sounds exotic.
Bulgarian rose water. It's like Bulgaria.
Yeah. I know the country. Interesting. Bulgarian. Okay. All right. You, Terrence, said you have a brick and mortar. Where's that located?
The brick and mortar is located in Douglasville. We just had our grand opening yesterday, so we've been at our brick and mortar for I think we got it last year in January 2019, and then we were utilizing that space as our warehouse. Like that's where we were making all of our body care products and soap, and it just was like busting out of the seams when COVID just came around this summer, and so we had to end up getting a bigger warehouse. So we ended up getting like a little over 6,000 square foot warehouse. And then we just renovated our brick and mortar, and it's a nice like little place. So if you guys are ever in Douglasville, or if you're local to Atlanta, you guys can come and check us out there. And we're also on Instagram too. The name of the business is Urban Eden, HERBNEDEN.
Nice.
No cap. I didn't know that was you. Y'all official. Y'all official. I see y'all on Instagram all the time. Salute to y'all.
Oh, snap. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we be out here just make like our social media. That's why I was like, when y'all was talking about soap, I was like, that's right up my alley. Like, talking about soap, I love all things soap. But we just make a lot of different soaps with herbs and just researching and going deep and finding out how herbs can help with the skin.
I have a question. Have you guys spoke about acne scarring yet? In India, the best herbal products to use for acne scarring.
Is that currently an issue you're having?
Yes, it's acne scarring. That's the problem for me.
Caitlin or Jacques, do you have anything for that?
Well, so we do have a product for acne scarring, hyperpigmentation. It's called a glow stick. But it has lemon essential oil, grapefruit seed extract, tea tree oil. The base is jojoba oil. So with that, you just apply it two or more times a day. And what it does is it lightens those scars and hyperpigmentations, and it gets into the sebum to help hydrate your skin to lighten up those marks on your face. So we do have a product, but I'm sure this Turan. I'm sorry if I said the name wrong. I'm sure they have some also.
Yes, we have, like I said, the tea tree and turmeric products. Y'all have always like the tea tree and turmeric goes hard. Also, I would recommend exfoliation as well. So I know we sell like Cecil cloth. So if you come across like any Cecil or Rami cloth products, that's made out of agave plant. So that's something that's natural and exfoliating. There's a lot of different exfoliating things. We sell body scrubs, so you can always use brown sugar. You can mix a little brown sugar, some turmeric, a little bit of lemon juice, and some honey as well. And if you have some dry skin, of course, you can add yogurt. We were talking about that earlier. You can add yogurt. But mixing all of those together, you can use that as a scrub. And then without the brown sugar, you can use all of that as a mask as well, and that'll help to even out the complexion. But exfoliation for me, like I'll break out on my forehead from like wearing my headscarf, so I'll like break out and then like get dark spots. But exfoliation and using a toner every day for me helps tremendously, and tea tree and turmeric face wash. And just to add to what Terrain and Jock were saying, so the reason why, just in general, they both recommended products that are like either have lemon or any acidity to it, because any product that is acidic or any fruit is going to have fruit enzymes, which are alpha hydroxy acids. So alpha hydroxy acids are water soluble enzymes that are used to exfoliate the skin. Usually, if you're using it topically with fruit acids, it's just going to be the acidity, so you're not going to need a scrub to go with it. So if you're someone who does have a sensitive skin, I would just either do one or the other. But if you are someone who's comfortable, you exfoliate on a regular basis, you moisturize, you hydrate, and you wear SPF, then you're more than welcome to do both. It's just up to the sensitivity of your skin.
If you do use turmeric, any type of turmeric scrub, for the most part, or if you decide to make it at your house, make sure that you use a dark colored towel and not a white towel.
That towel is now garbage.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. Amber, do you have anything to add to this discussion? I know we met a while ago, but you are definitely a thought leader on herbs, and I believe you have an apothecary.
Hey everyone. So I'm kind of listening passively. I know I jumped in with what's her name, Nefertiti. She was speaking about hormonal outbreaks. That's when I came into the room. Yes, I am eating up your dinner. That's why I'm listening passively. That was so cute. That was so cute. She just finished dance class, so I've just been in the back. I've been listening and engaged. It's a very good conversation. Everyone has added such good information. What I thought about when Nefertiti was talking about with the hormonal outbreaks is, so she said that she was 30 or close to 30 or around 30. And so I'm 50, so I'm a lot like you, Gina, where I've been trying to really make sure that I am using herbs that are anti-aging.
That's right.
Kind of slowing the clock. So I use a lot of rose, whether it's rose water or rose and herbal steams. I do herbal steams for my face. I luckily do not suffer from a lot of hyperpigmentation, but turmeric definitely is a love of all. So I take turmeric pills each day. It's just part of my vitamin regimen. A lot of herbs I take, like Jock said, black seed. So much has been talked about that I don't have anything to add. One thing that let me think about this. That's apple cider. My daughter's pulling my vitamins out of the cabinet. But one thing that I used to use when I was in my 30s that I don't think had been mentioned was basil. And basil was a good astringent, and it was something that I would use. I would use a lot of oils, like I would make serums out of herbs, just infusing herbs and oils to use on my face. And basil was one of my go-tos, which served as astringent, anti-aging, because like I said, around age 30, that was when I was really dealing with the adult acne. And I've been blessed since then not to really have those issues. So I'm just going to go back to listening and eat up this girl's dinner so that I can come back in. Hopefully you guys are still here and I can engage more.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amber.
Thanks, Gina.
Thank you, Amber. And real quick, I just wanted to say, Amber, that was a dream talking about the basil. I actually was using that in my serum for acne skin, but I took it out because I was using basil essential oil, but I took it out because people were like complaining about just for acne. Right. Basil is so basil oil. Like I love the smell of basil, but I know everybody doesn't. And so I even used to have a basil soap, and people were just like, "What is this?" So it's really an acquired taste as far as the smell. So yeah, just steeping the herb definitely worked well.
I was looking online and I just saw holy basil. Oh, I was looking online and I just saw holy basil as one. I know it's still basil, but I know holy basil. I think it's from Asia, if I'm correct. But I know it has antifungal and antibiotic properties. It's really good as a skin tone booster. And it also helps in soothing and healing and rejuvenating the skin because it's rich in antioxidants, vitamin A and C. And it destroys free radicals.
So when they was talking about the basil, one thing that a lot of people I guess sacrifice, right? So like with all natural products, most of the time natural products don't smell good. Tea tree oil. I know people who don't like the smell of tea tree oil.
I was gonna mention tea tree too. I'm like, I love the smell of tea tree. It smells so good.
It's like the equivalent of natural bleach. I mean, it kills everything. You can wipe the countertops with it, and wipe the floor with it. Eat off of it. You know what I'm saying? It kills everything. But what the beauty industry has done is they have sacrificed the properties of good things because of the smell and things like that, and have turned around and gave chemical products, but added fragrances to them so they smell more appealing and things of that nature. So when dealing with skin, even with roots and herbs and things of that nature, a lot of them, if you look at them, they're not appealing. Ginger's not appealing look. Appealing look. Garlic doesn't smell good. Garlic is good for your body. Things like that. So just go into it and knowing that a lot of times the things that are the best for you don't taste the best, they don't look the best, and they don't smell the best, but they're going to help you with a lot of the issues and problems that you have going on.
And that's what I tell a lot of my customers too, or even just people who are looking at anything that I'm spreading on any videos. But I'll tell them about apple cider vinegar. So many people complain about one of our toners that we have, and I use like majority apple cider vinegar. And I do that because apple cider vinegar works absolute wonders to me, like especially what it does for dark spots. I feel like it's an amazing ingredient. So many people like, it's just too strong, I can't use it. And that's what they were even saying about the basil essential oil. But I wasn't letting up about the apple cider vinegar. The basil, I was like, okay, I'll like take that out and just use something else. But the apple cider vinegar, I'm like, this is like some potent stuff. And sometimes people, like you said, they want things to smell good. They want everything to smell like strawberries and things. And I'm like, the real deal, good smelling things don't always smell the best. Even turmeric. Somebody was complaining about the tea tree and turmeric soap, and the smells like those are acquired smells, but the wonders that they do for your skin, like if you give it a try and keep on using it, you'll see what it does.
To add one thing that I nobody mentioned that I totally forgot about mentioning: oregano oil. Oregano oil is really, really good. It's the same thing as tea tree oil. You have to dilute it because it's very, 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 very strong. But it helps. It's antibacterial. It helps with acne, acne foot, oily skin, ringworm, rosacea, psoriasis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can brush your teeth with it. Even in that. So I think we talk about skin. One thing that doesn't get talked about is toothpaste. If you notice whatever toothpaste it is that you use, if you look at the bottom of the toothpaste and you see there's a little strip of color. Some of them are black, some of them are purple, some of them are blue. Those tell you what kind of ingredients it is that they use, if they're chemical toothpastes or not. So a lot of the toothpastes are they have a lot of chemicals in them. one thing, for me, so I don't really use toothpaste anymore. I use activated charcoal along with a little bit of baking soda and tea tree oil. You can also use coconut oil with oil pulling, and you can mix all that stuff together and make it a paste, and use that to brush your teeth, and that'll also help with not having all of those chemicals in your body also.
So guys, real quick, I have a question as well. Speaking of coconut oil, thank you for bringing that up. So I hear a lot of people say that they use coconut oil as a moisturizer for their face, and I typically don't recommend it when people tell me that they use it, because I just know that in using only coconut oil, it's been just drying by itself, and just based off of my research, I see that it can be very comedogenic, clogging for the pores. So what do you guys think about coconut oil and using it only as a moisturizer by itself?
I do not like coconut oil as a moisturizer. I don't even like coconut oil as a hair product, just because the idea of it like solidifying and then becoming more emollient to me sometimes is off-putting. And it is a little comedogenic for certain people. I know people use it as like an oil cleanser, like as your first initial step before cleansing your face with a cleanser, to like break down any makeup or anything like that you have on. That I'm okay with, but not really as a moisturizer.
I'm also not a fan of the coconut oil. I don't use it for anything, but as an alternative to using for oil cleansing, I love sea buckthorn oil so much, especially for oil cleansing. I cleanse with that and moisturize with that.
That oil is actually good. I actually got put onto it because there's this brand called Osea who does an algae body oil, and I think that's one of the ingredients in it, and I love it. So yes, awesome, Carrie.
I really like the sea buckthorn oil as well. Piggyback, sorry guys, I had to jump out and jump back in. Coconut oil, I agree, is not one of my favorites either. Also, doing a little bit more studying, I found that it doesn't work for my blood type, which might be why it doesn't work for my hair or for my face or for anything. In addition to the sea buckthorn, I actually also like the grapeseed oil. I find it to be a good oil, and it absorbs well without actually clogging my pores. So I like grapeseed.
I agree. Along with everyone else, the coconut oil is, so for my hair, it's drying. For my skin, it's clogging. So I never recommend coconut oil, whether it be for oil cleansing or moisturizing. And I know some people who do use it for whole body moisturizing, but I just don't. I can't. I haven't had good experiences with it. But for face oil, I do like I like rosehip oil for face as well as the sea buckthorn.
It's the I can't for me with the coconut oil. So I'm glad that we all agree that coconut oil is just like a no-go. I do mix it in with some of my stuff, but as a single moisturizer, it's just a nah.
You want to know what it is? I feel like that was the first product, not the first product, but one of the most popularized products as far as like oils and moving towards like more natural products. So I feel like it got overused, overplayed, and everybody loved it at the beginning until they didn't anymore.
And I feel like, with so many trends, like coconut oil was one of those trends. Like, everybody uses coconut oil. Everybody uses coconut oil. And, without any research, people just jump on it and not even realizing that it's not, that it's no good. And I will say, like, for us, it may be different for me as a woman, as a Black woman, and somebody else may use it and it may be fine. But for me and my family, I would try to use it on my daughter, and it just didn't work. It's an easy oil to use, but it has to be mixed with something else.
Yeah, and it's running down your face in the middle of summer, leaving Jerry so true. And
Hey, Hyacinth. It's great to hear you. I have a question. So one of the things that I brought up when we first started talking this evening is first of all, your skin being your largest and fastest growing organ, and talking about how healing starts from within. So one of the things, and I mentioned this the other day, but one of the things that I do not daily, but at least 2-3 times a week is, speaking of coconut oil, but not on my face. I use it as an oil pull along with oregano oil, and I do that for 20 minutes in my mouth. And what I've noticed is that my face is so clear after. I mean, it literally pulls all the toxins from wherever they're hiding out, and I have this really clear face that's just, it's obviously so clear that strangers notice it, and I get compliments all the time about what I do for my face and how it's glowing and how did I do that. And I'm a hippie and I'm a tomboy also. So I'm like, wait, what do you mean? What? I didn't even wash my face today. Oh yeah, I oil pulled a little bit before I left the house. So does anyone else have any regimens like that that is kind of like starting within?
No, but you know what? That's actually amazing. I did randomly and briefly hear that plaque can cause acne. Teeth plaque can cause acne. And also, like flossing can help monitor that. And I don't remember what the exact connections are other than your skin being an organ. But yeah, that if you have buildup in your teeth, that it can affect your skin as well.
That's interesting. I am actually going to look into that because teeth is another one of my sensitive spots.
And I was going to say, if we can, we should make a group for like some herbs for remineralizing teeth. That's something I've been looking into. So I would like to talk more about that. But this is I don't know.
Taryn, that's our next topic, girl. Okay, I'm going to be hitting you up about that because a girl needs to know.
That's amazing. And can we have like a follow-up one too? Like anybody, like anything that we've all learned and been trying, and then what our progress report is on, on things we've learned.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, me too. That's dope.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I can tell you.
I do also want to throw in real quick while you guys are looking up teeth also, and forgive me because I don't have it all in my head, but it's in my head, if that makes sense. The teeth also align up with a lot of different parts of the body. So like your respiratory system, your heart, things like that. So for those of you that know like about reflexology, like as far as in the hands, the ears, the feet, there is also reflexology that goes with the teeth as well. That's just interesting. Awesome. I never thought about that. Thank you.
Do you know which part of the teeth correspond with the parts of your body?
That is the part that I do not remember, but it literally is like, for example, like how your big toe aligns with your brain, like it's the same way with the teeth. So like the back molar might deal with the heart. So it's literally each tooth or each tooth section that aligns with a different part of the body. That's the part I don't remember off the top of my head though, but I know I've read it, so I know it exists.
No, I believe in that fully, especially kind of like in Chinese medicine, different points correspond with different points. And
exactly.
I read the same thing, and then I, somewhere, but I couldn't see where, like, which tooth corresponds to what, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But I would love to somehow find, I've been trying to look online, and for some reason it's not, like, oral care is one of the things that I feel like is the hardest for me to understand. I would love to figure that out because there's always like one tooth that has always been a problem of mine. And I'm like, I wonder where, like, what part of my body is maybe unbalanced.
So that'll be my homework too, because I know I have the book. I just have to relocate the book.
I was gonna say definitely make that some homework. We'll see it for the next.
When we do the follow up on the teeth, I will have the information. So I actually found I just looked online and I found a little teeth reflexology guide. It pulled up on Pinterest. It says your incisors are going to be for your right eye, your liver, your gallbladder. Your cuspids are going to be your large intestine and your lungs. Your molars are going to be your spleen, and then your wisdom teeth are going to be your small intestine and your heart. And that works for upper and lower.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say about the teeth remineralization. So there is a Uncle Harry's, and they have I'm not sure if you all know about that, but they have a liquid remineralization liquid for the teeth, and I actually used it a couple years ago. I had got a crown listening to a dentist a while back years ago, and it never really set right. And every time I would go back to the dentist, I'm like, hey, this hurts. They're like, oh, you have to give it time to heal up and everything like that. It never really healed. I stopped trusting the dentist that I was going to, and I started doing some research. And the Uncle Harry's, Uncle Harry's, that liquid, along with their toothpaste and their mouthwash, helped my tooth stop hurting on that side. It healed up. And like every time I go back to the dentist, it's, everything is fine. And the herbs that are in there are eucalyptus, peppermint, clove, wintergreen, oregano. And I actually stopped using, there was a gentleman I think that was talking before about using the toothpaste, regular toothpaste. I actually have stopped using, the commercial toothpaste altogether. So, just look that up, uncleharrys.com, and that may be helpful to you all.
Definitely helpful to me. Thank you.
Right, I'm gonna check it out.
Actually, since I got my braces, I stopped using my Uncle Harry's. I forgot about Uncle Harry's. Please go find Uncle in the bathroom.
Here's your Uncle Harry's back.
Go get it on right quick. I'm tripping.
I love Uncle Harry's so much, and not to try to, go to Uncle Harry's, but if you run out, you can actually make this stuff at your house. I have a family of 7, and sometimes it was just like, I don't got money to be buying Uncle Harry's, and my kids are running through this stuff, and everything like that. But I used to make it at home. I'm an herbalist, and I have a wellness company. I don't make it and sell it to anybody because I know that's their thing. But if I run out, I will nicely go over to the Whole Foods or the Sprouts or whatever, get all the stuff I need and make me a big old batch of it, and then we're using that in the house. So, if you look at the ingredients, you can definitely figure it out.
What's this? I was thinking the same thing. I was like, go ahead and tell us the recipe. I got my paper ready.
There we go. We all got our pen and paper.
It's a couple of different things. So if y'all want, just hit this. I can write it all down and I can just DM it to y'all or whatever. But my contact information is in my little bio or whatever, and I can type it out and send it to you guys. But it's very easy. It's very easy to make. In your kitchen, a spoon, a bowl, your mixer or whatever. Literally, like the mouthwash, you can pretty much put everything in the bottle, shake it up, and then you're good to go. And when I tell you the mouthwash, the ones you make with the essential oils and everything like that, if you're making it yourself or if you get over here, that thing works so much better than any Listerine or whatever the case you could buy out the grocery store. My teeth feel it's just like so fresh and minty and mentholy. And then the other thing is, and I just lost my train of thought. So there was one other thing that the gentleman didn't mention. Okay, with the mouthwash and the toothpaste, sometimes you feel like you have that phlegm or some type of mucusy in the back of your throat that you might not be able to get rid of, and it's kind of like, well, you're not sick or anything like that, but why does this thing keep coming up? Okay, inside of the toothpaste and the mouthwash, there's something that causes you to have allergic reaction to that, and if you bring it up to the dentist, they're probably going to tell you nothing's wrong, but I had to keep bringing it up to my dentist, like, hey, something is going on here with these toothpastes. And then finally, the dentist hygienist, who was, I guess she got tired of me complaining, she told me, okay, sometimes there are ingredients in the toothpaste that that cause allergic reaction, but they don't really put it on blast like that because, it doesn't really happen to many people. So if you ever feel like you're having that phlegm in the back of your throat, check your toothpaste, check whatever you're using to keep your, oral hygiene up, because those commercialized products, they have those chemicals and stuff, and they cause allergic reaction, and we think that it's something else, when really it's no, we need to stop using it. And once my family stopped using the commercial products, I mean, no issues. So, check out Uncle Harry's, and, y'all hit me up if you want me to run down the recipe for y'all. I can write it out and give it to you, no problem. Okay, I'm done. I'm going back on mute.
I appreciate that, Tony. Let me tell you something. You're speaking to my heart. I don't know about anyone else in this room, but I've been struggling with this for years. I think my dentists are evil, and thank you. I will be following up.
Okay, no problem.
I've actually never used Uncle Harry's, but I do use Garner's Garden, which I just Googled Uncle Harry's, and it seems to be like a very similar thing. Yeah, because even if I do, because I've been using that for like years, so if I do happen to go grab a tube of Colgate, I immediately regret it and then go clean my mouth with my Garner's Garden, which has like the remineralizing tooth powder and oxy-pulling and the mouthwash as well. So it really might be the toothpaste. And once you stop using it, you're not going to go back to it. You just can't.
I agree.
Well, I had to start incorporating herbs into my oral regimen because I was buying toothpaste that didn't have fluoride or anything in it, but I also found it wasn't strong enough. So what actually was Caitlin, I think, that gave me the idea to start rubbing peppermint oil on my gums.
Oh yeah, that definitely helps.
I would agree with that. That does help. To kill all the bacteria, if you switch around some tea tree oil in your mouth, or I think like you said, oregano oil. And stay away from the fluoride stuff. I'm not gonna ask how old anybody is, but if y'all remember back in the day, they used to get a little pink fluoride tab in school. And the little pink bubble gum swish stuff that you had to swish around in your mouth. But fluoride is not good for your body. They have it in a lot of water. Yes, hold on 1 second. They put it in the water, so not ingesting fluoride would be really, really good because they have shown that it's a toxic. But the dentist will tell you it's good, it helps with your teeth and all that kind of stuff like that. But you look at the studies and the reports about fluoride, it says otherwise.
Well, which it is. I always tell people, listen, because I'm former marketer. Okay, so I understand marketing and understand how it works, right? So telling people fluoride is good for their teeth is just like telling people New York water is clean water, right? Because New York water is clean water. When you dump fluoride and bleach and all the other stuff that's in New York water, it is clean. Actually, if you dump fluoride and bleach on anything, it's clean, right? But is it healthy water? No, it's not healthy. So the fluoride that's in toothpaste is good for cavities, right? Because what kind of bacteria can survive fucking fluoride? Humans can barely survive fluoride. That's why they tell you not to swallow your toothpaste or contact poison control if you swallow it. What I'm saying is that fluoride is good at killing bacteria, but it'll also slowly kill you.
Also, another brand, I don't know if anyone's tried it before, it's North American Urban Spice, the company that sells the P73 wild oregano oil. But they have an amazing toothpaste that's like changed my life. But now that we're talking about making our own, I'm looking at the ingredients and I'm like, I wonder if I could make my own version of this.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. They have their own toothpaste because I love their product. I love their oregano. They have
Yes, and it is, all my friends, my whole family, once I started using it, like all of us are obsessed with it.
I'll be on that looking
what
for that
is the name
tomorrow.
of it? The company's called North American Urban Spice, and they're like the number one place to source oil of oregano. But they do have their own toothpaste that's fluoride free. They put their wild oregano in it. And the ingredients are mountain spring water, calcium carbonate, peppermint, spearmint, olive oil, wild oregano oil, sage, retinue root, geranium, clove bud oil, birch tree extract, eucalyptus oil, papaya extract, and menthol.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Like you could make your own if you just add their wild oregano. I wonder what the mixing process would be because it is like a paste texture, so I don't know how much carbonate and olive oil to make that paste. but I feel like you could even make a more organic version with like certified organic oils. But it is amazing. That's all I can say.
Lexi, what's the name one more time? I'm writing it down.
So the company's name is North American Herb and Spice.
Okay.
And then the toothpaste is called Orega Fresh, like oregano oil.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I love trying out new toothpaste.
I just learned something. I guess two tangent things. I know we were talking about acne and acne scarring. So one bit of information is I learned that, I know we talked about B12 yesterday, but I heard that B12 helps with hyperpigmentation. I haven't fully researched that and understanding what the mechanics behind it is, and I haven't seen any proof or evidence of that. But I did hear that, and I guess it makes sense, especially with like blood flow and the ability to fight off extra UV rays. And then the other part is, sometimes if we think that we are losing collagen or that our face is sagging, it's really just the restructuring of our teeth. You know how when you get older,
that's true,
our teeth might shift. Yeah, and so our smiles may not be as wide, and so deeper wrinkles. So if you find yourself feeling a little bit more wrinkly, it could be because your teeth are shifting shape.
That is definitely true. I just got Invisalign because of that.
Yeah, I'm about to get it to my mom. Accidentally threw up my retainer when I was in my 20s, and so now my teeth has been shifting for the past X amount of years, and I need to redo my Invisalign or do Invisalign.
Definitely look into a company, just as a sidebar, that called Clear Connect. They do the same thing as Invisalign, and it's 1,000,000 times cheaper, but very effective. I'm super happy with how mine are coming out.
Nice. Thank you.
I'm really excited about this teeth mineralizing herbal session we're about to have, ladies.
And we probably do like a hair and herbs. I know that some beauty bloggers do herbs for their hair, and I know like fenugreek is supposed to be really good for your hair, etc. But I have not delved into teas, rinses, or anything like that. But I know that's a different topic.
I'm writing it down. Thank you.
Well, don't forget, hi, let me that hair herb. So y'all make sure y'all tap me into that herb as well. Thanks. Vital Proteins also has an amazing hair supplement that I also swear by.
Vital Proteins.
Yes, they have it's like the Blue Collagen, the fast-food collagen company, but they have a hair supplement the pink bottle. They came out with a new one that's purple, but it's not as good if you compare the ingredients, which is weird because they market it more for hair. But the pink bottle, I think it's called their Beauty Boost, but my hair has grown so much, and I will take 3 days, and I love it. I'm an herbalist. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Teresa. Welcome.
I'm listening to the conversation, so this is definitely my topic. When it comes to hair, you have to kind of figure out what is it that you want to do with your hair. Do you want to grow hair? Because I created a blend of a bunch of products, a bunch of herbs that really, really grows the hair, whether it's a pomade or you want to rinse or you want a tonic for your hair. It's really what is the goal that you want from this product. You just want to grow your hair. But remember, everything that we have on the outside, we have to focus on the inside first. So when you were talking about the teeth, I'm sitting here saying, you have to focus on the inside. So if there's an issue with the teeth, then there's something on the inside, too, that you need to address so that it will manifest on the outside. So we can't just do things on, like brush our teeth and expect to have the results that we want to have. So how are you energizing your body on the inside to manifest the end results? Would be my question.
Okay.
In that reflexology that you were saying, I did Google it, and it's kind of so cool and trippy because the one tooth I've always had a problem with corresponds like to my thyroid, which is like something that I've always been trying to nurture. So I think that's really cool. Again, thanks for letting me know about that.
Absolutely. I think the body is super amazing. So I'm glad you were able to find it a lot quicker than I was.
Just help. I don't want to be bald anymore. It's by choice, but I want to grow up. I think from shaving my head so much, it doesn't grow back. It doesn't grow back like it did. When I was younger, or maybe I'm not even giving it a chance. But I think I want to grow my hair back. So definitely shoot me a message or something so I can try the products out. And I can use this on my beard too. Correct?
Absolutely. I mean, it's for when we create products, we don't just create. It's the human body that we create products for, and so we take that into account. So they're unisex. They're for anybody, unless it has alcohol or something in it. But for the most part, it's for anyone. If you want to grow your hair, you can definitely grow your hair. If you want to turn your hair from gray to black, we can do that too. And one of the roots you can use for that is foti root. Foti root is a Chinese root that when taken, it's for longevity. When taken, it can turn gray to black.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Can you spell that for us?
I know.
FO-TI.
Or it's sometimes called hiawu.
Yep. In Chinese medicine, it's called hiawu. But most people, they will find it as foti root.
Thank you, Teresa, for that gem. That's a good gem right there.
But there's lots of herbs that if you want to grow your hair, you can grow your hair. That's not a problem.
So Teresa, you're down for this hair herb chat, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely. I'm always, I'm an herbalist, so I'm always up for the conversation about herbs because they can totally transform your life.
Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you also brought up the fact, because I've been bringing it up periodically, that I do want to focus on our internals and not and our externals, but I think sometimes people just focus on the externals because that's the immediate fix, but we're not getting to the underlying problem.
Absolutely. And that's really what I would love for people to embrace. It doesn't really take a long time, not as long as they think it does, but I ask them, if you've been taking these medications or you've been having this problem for whatever X amount of time, don't you want to kind of resolve it? And so we basically take a body that's out of alignment and get it back in alignment, or as close to it as possible, so you can live a long, vibrant life.
Where are you based out of, Teresa?
It's Tourette, sorry. I'm out of Tampa. I'm a New Yorker, but now I live in Tampa.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
That's okay. No problem.
This Prentice, I definitely will be checking you out. I see that you got a colon cleanse on your page. Just seeing the news and stuff like that. Talking, especially black men. Yeah, I'm sorry. Me black. Thank you, Miss Prentice. I'll be checking you out.
You're welcome. Yeah, we need to take care of the inside because we need to energize our bodies, especially now. Most people that are getting these viruses or episodes with the virus is because they have low vitamin D. They also have low zinc, and they're not putting those pieces together. It's not just the people that have diabetes. The common link between a person that has diabetes and a person that has kind of underlying conditions, they're typically magnesium deficient. But no one, when they go to the doctor, really talks about magnesium and the importance of it until you actually have a crisis. And so when we don't eat a lot of vegetables, we don't get enough oxygen through the foods we eat, we then have these underlying conditions that we can actually work fairly quickly to resolve. And so the gut, 80% of our immune system is located in our gut. your gut is compromised with fecal matter, then how can you have the ability to absorb the things that you need to absorb? And so getting the cleansing the blood, cleansing the kidneys, cleansing the colon and the liver is really, really instrumental in our overall wellness. And we have an herb for that.
You are preaching. I try to tell people the same thing all the time, and they really don't make the connection between the gut and what they eat and what they drink and other things that they may be taking into the body or things that they are lacking in the body, such as, like you said, the zinc and the vitamin deficiencies and all of that. So I appreciate you for sharing that information tonight.
I do as well. I appreciate everyone for sharing and assisting me and Caitlin in this discussion.
Yes, thank you. I learned a lot from all of you as well. It was a great discussion tonight. It was a great discussion. And guys, I wanted to also mention too, just even when we're talking about herbs, just how you can always go outside and find herbs that can help you right outside your door. So even just talking about acne, a lot of the herbs that help to cleanse the blood, burdock root, yellow dock root. I don't know if we mentioned plantain on here, but plantain can help with acne as well. Comfrey, all of these different things you can find going out into just your backyard. I'm pretty sure that some of us have this dandelion. A lot of these blood cleansers are right outside. They pop up every spring. They're here every fall. So you can get a lot of this stuff for free as well. Also invest into this app called Picture This. You don't really have to invest into it because it doesn't cost, but if you want to pay for unlimited, then you can. I still take all my unlimited pictures without it. But if you get that app, you can identify when you go outside and see like a flower or herb that appeals to you. You can take a picture of that flower or herb. You can find out what it is, and then you can find out more benefits about it. So right outside of our backyard, we have a lot of medicine that can even help with our skin right outside. Oh, I definitely. I'm glad you brought that up, Taryn. Is that the plants that are outside our home, the plants that are in our community are there because they are there for the community, meaning the people that live there, that's their medicine. And so it's very important that we adhere to bioregional plants, find out what plants you can go to the agriculture department and find out what plants grow in your area, because those plants are for those citizens that live in that area. So, for instance, I live in Tampa now. I'm from New York. Dandelion used to grow very prevalent through the cracks of the street. I didn't notice it as much when I was there. I think it's kind of waning because the community has changed. But dandelion does not grow in Tampa. So I had to go through the process of learning the plants that grow here for when I was preparing medicines for, let's say, the virus that's prevalent now. I had to think about it. I don't call it what it is because a virus is kind of a virus to us in this herbal space. We're not really treating what the masses call it. We're actually treating, the energetics of it. Is it dry? Is it damp? Is it cold? Is it hot? That's what we are really focused on, and not the allopathic approach to it. But the medicine, as you mentioned, Taryn, that's right outside. So whatever you see growing outside that you can identify, that's for you, and that's for the people in that community. Where you'll go to another state, you'll need to learn what's in that bioregional area, so that medicine will serve you there. Because this is a tropical environment. So a lot of the things that I'm used to don't grow here.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because I was under the assumption that dandelion is so wild that it just grew everywhere, but does it have something to do with the climate?
Yes, it does. Very much so. Just like chamomile does not necessarily grow here either. But I have lemongrass growing out of control, and I have aloe vera growing out of control. Those are, more tropical plants. And then we have other ones, like there's one that's actually sitting on my table right now I'm looking at. It's called Andrographis. It's a new plant for me. That's why it's actually sitting here, because I'm watching and observing the process of the maceration. I'm making some herbal medicine so that if someone's really, really sick, I can or they have a lot of heat in their body, I can really address it with this particular tincture. But it's new to me. And actually, the cold herb, it actually turns the bottle cold. So these are the types of observations that I make as I, bring this new plant into my world, so I can work with it and know how to work with it with others. Because herbalism is a very spiritual experience, and it's a connection with plants, and you'll know which plants to use based on that. And then also you're able to will plants to do things when you don't have something else.
Thank you for saying all this, because I'm over in Daytona and I just thought my chamomile dying was just me having a black thumb.
Absolutely not. Chamomile does not grow well here.
Okay, that is.
Yeah. And there's so many others that you may know that they don't grow well here either. So I would suggest you get the Peterson's Field Guide, and it will help you understand, or get the Florida version, and it'll help you understand what will grow here as a counterpart to what you're trying to do with the chamomile. So if you're trying to get something more that's going to be more sedative, I would say maybe lean to more lemon balm, because lemon balm does grow here very well. I've had it growing.
I'm sorry, what was the name of that guide?
The Peterson's Field Guide. And then the Agriculture Department has a Florida guide as well. If you connect with me, I'll give you the name of it. I don't have it in front of me, but there's a Florida guide that you can get to that'll tell you about the plants that grow here in Florida.
Oh, the first one, was it Peterson's Field? I think you said
Peterson, the Peterson Field Guide.
Is that only for Florida, or is that?
No, that you can get it on Amazon, but there is a separate guide that's specifically for Florida.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The Peterson's Guide is sold on Amazon. Thank you for that.
Miss Curtis, I'm sorry, if I may ask you a question. So, I live in North Carolina, so I got a lot of plants in my house. And one of the things that I noticed is I use Fox Farm, which is like an organic fertilizer, but a lot of the stuff that a lot of the ingredients in it is they say that you should have use vitamins and stuff like that, zinc, magnesium, and things of that nature. So my question is. In my backyard, there's, the HOA, they be something about cutting the grass and all that kind of stuff like that. But I noticed in my backyard, like literally the whole yard is nothing but grass. And I didn't know what to do with them. I just know that, I saw somebody who was, getting them, and they were leaving the roots out to make tea and stuff like that. But aside from that, hey guys, what would be the best way to, to keep them, digging them up and everything like that? What would be the best way to preserve? I don't know what to do with them.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you real quick. Okay, so once you know that they are not poisonous, meaning they haven't had really bad fertilizer and they're going to serve you the way you want them to serve you, then what you can do is dry them. So if you have the root, you can dry them. I actually came up with something for someone in New York, because they don't have much space. You can go and get at the bodega in New York. You can go get a screen, and you can get it at Home Depot. The screens that fit in windows that don't have screens, they slide, and then you can go to Dollar Tree and buy one of the largest size aluminum cookie sheets. You'll take the screen, put it on top of the cookie sheet, and then you can lay out the dandelion root or leaves or any type of thing that you want to dry. You need free flowing air, bottom and top, to dry them. Once they're completely dry, you can grind them, you can cut them up, you can let them, cut them up some more and continue to dry them. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some pictures of me drying various herbs and roots. I just recently dried some burdock root, but I dried it on the outside. It's a long root, and then I cut it up and I continue to dry it until it's completely dry. Or if you have ability to have an instant pot, you can use the dehydration component of that and dehydrate them. Or if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate the root and use them and grind them up and use them in your teas or what have you. When it's leaves, the same thing. You can have the leaves, put them out on a stem, and then you can, once they're dry, take them out and make tea out of them. So I grow my own lemongrass. I bundle it by the ends. I cut it, and then I put a rubber band around it, and I hang it upside down over a hanger. And you'll see that on my Instagram too. If you just scroll through, you'll see. And it dries in a few days, and then I just cut with a scissor, and I cut them up, and I put them in my blends, and I make them in my tea. So as long as you know that they're ethical, you can do that. Oh, so let's see. I don't know if anybody was talking or not, but did you guys also mention? I don't know if you remember going back to oils and things for acne as well. Jojoba oil. I don't know if we mentioned that. I wanted to talk about jojoba oil as well.
Well, jojoba oil is as close to our natural oil of sebaceous glands. So anything that we do is going to, with jojoba oil, is going to be more nourishing for the skin than something else. But I also like to use rosehip seed oil because it comes from the plant, the rose plant. And so it's going to be healing for the skin. But when we talk about, I don't know, I wasn't here for the beginning part of acne, but when we talk about acne, we have to think about the lymphatic system. And so remember, the lymphatic system is not a system that moves automatically in the body, so we have to help it move. Dry brushing is one of the easiest ways to get it moving, but we really always have to think about the sewer system in the body is backed up when we consider acne. That and the endocrine system is needs some assistance as well.
Yes, dry brushing. Throughout a lot of my research, I've always heard about dry brushing. I don't think I've tried it personally. I feel like I might have almost tried it personally, but I don't know if anybody has any experience with dry brushing, but it definitely helps based off of what I've read to increase circulation. It helps to get rid of dead skin cells as well.
What is dry brushing, or like how do you do it?
Dry brushing, you can take a body brush. You can take any brush, but a body brush. And you're going to brush in the direction of the lymphatic dumping zones, right? So they are located in the warm parts of your body. So they're going to be in front of the elbow. So any area that has a crease or a crevice. So it's going to be in front of the elbow. It's going to be in your groin, under your armpits, along your neck.
Is it under your knee?
Right behind the knees, down by your ankles. So that's where the lymphatic system drains. So you want to, when you're brushing, you're going to brush up from your groin into below, if you're a woman, underneath your breasts. That's another dumping spot there. And you're going to brush down towards your nipples. You're going to brush into your armpits, up your arm, whichever the closest one is. So if you start at your wrist, you're going to brush to your elbow. If you're going from your elbow, you're going to go to your armpits, and you're going to brush to the nearest dumping area, and just do it ever so gently. It allows the lymphatic system to move. Women need to eat juicy fruits. Juicy fruits. When you think of juicy fruits, think of those things that roll down your arm. You eat an orange, and if you don't hold it right, it's going to just roll down your arm. Watermelon is going to roll down your arm. And another good item is chia seeds. Very good for women in general, but men too. But it helps move lymph. And so you want to move lymph. A good combination, if you are interested in drinking a tea, it would be chickweed, which is a nourishing herb, along with cleavers, which moves lymph. So I will give you a recipe real quick. Do 2 parts. So a part is any measurement tool that you're using. So if it's a teaspoon, that'll be your consistent measuring tool. If it's a cup, it's your consistent measuring tool. A half a cup will be consistent as a part. So you'll take 1 part, and
I'll use a teaspoon as a part. So you're going to take 1 part using a teaspoon of chickweed, because chickweed is the nourishing herb. It's nourishing, meaning you're going to get minerals and vitamins that you need to support your body. It's a food. If you have it in your garden, if it grows there where you are, you can put it in your salad. But if you're getting it dry, you're going to use it 2 parts, which is 2 teaspoons, to 1 part cleavers. But I would add in 1 more component, because I always support the liver whenever we're doing anything. So if we have the transport, right? If we're transporting sludge, we need something, the cleaver. So you're going to get the nourishment, which is going to fortify and energize the body. But the cleavers now is going to move the sludge. It's going to collect all the sludge. And now it's going to take that sludge, and the liver is the organ that needs support all the time, because it's getting all of this sludge all the time. So we're going to put a supporter for the liver. We can either use burdock if you have that, or we can use, since we're talking about acne, I probably will go with burdock, right? Or you can use dandelion, because burdock is the root and herb for the skin. So we'll use burdock along with, I'll use 1 part burdock or 1 part dandelion, whichever you choose, 1 part cleavers, and 2 parts chickweed. There you have a really nice, nourishing, lymphatic support, acne blend that will help energize and support your overall body, and the end result will be the acne will be supported.
Thank you so much for sharing that recipe, for real. Much respect for that.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. I sent you a DM on IG. I was like, you're pretty much like the herbal godmother, I feel like. So thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, this is what I love. I've been studying for a lot of years, and I just really want my community to be well, because when we're well, everyone else in our community can be well. So, and outside of our community, and it gives us the strength to fight these battles that we have to fight on a daily basis. And it just provides us with the DNA from the plants. It connects us to our ancestry. Our ancestors were able to make it through because they had the plants on their side. And when we connect with nature, we begin to know, and we begin to have like supernatural abilities, because we tap into the plants that have been here long before us. But that's a whole nother conversation that we can have about plants. We're going to have it.
All right, guys. So I wanted to wrap it up a little bit, because it's 10. We've been on for 2 hours. And I have some papers that I need to look at. My teacher,
but this was a great conversation.
I know. If you guys want to keep going, you can go right ahead. I'll just tap out for a little bit and maybe come back. So it's up to you guys.
I don't know. I might go, but I don't know. What's everybody doing? You know what I'm saying?
I have to go, but I would love if you would continue to moderate these rooms and open them, because this is my second one, and they've been a huge wealth of knowledge, and very inspiring, very positive, very fun. It's a good group of people, so kudos.
Taran, I'm going to hit you on a DM about our next topic. So
okay, I wrote down a lot of topics, so definitely hit me up, because I'm like, I see so many other groups that we can start just talking about different things. I love talking about herbs, so I'm happy to be in a group and be around other people and talk to other people that love to talk about herbs. And I'm just learning and doing things and writing stuff.
And I would love to, participate in any way, because this is my body of work. This is what I do. This is who I am. I teach. I run a membership. I make medicine every day. So
thank you so much, Therese. I really appreciate your input. Actually, like I said, I appreciate everyone's input. I feel like for the most part, I want to say, and if you're not part of the club, please join. But I want to say 90% of the people that have been coming in and out of the room all night are part of the club. So I really appreciate you guys being active members. And I enjoy learning and growing with you all. Anybody want to contact me? My Instagram is in my profile. But I will be connecting with a couple of you guys about topics moving forward. And don't forget about our weekly check-in every week. That's Sunday at 7 p.m., where we're just talking about herbs on our radar. So that's our regular meet, and it's not going to change. But we are going to continue to schedule meetings like this in between that time. So
shout out to Miss Caitlin, because we were talking earlier. She was telling me about the group, so I certainly appreciate you letting me know about it. And shout out to you, Gina, for having the group, and just being the thug that I am, saying, and a man, it's good to have a safe place to talk about these type of things, because I'm a cosmetologist, and I'm married to a woman, so it's just kind of a uncommon thing. So I can't have these type of conversations with other dudes because they look at me like, bro, what you talking about? So I just appreciate the safe space so I can be able to talk about these type of things or knowledgeable about it. So thank you. Hey,
John, I'm all in the group, and if anybody is looking to tap in with me, my bio also has my contact information, and I look forward to the next meeting.
Yes, Tony. I had
follow in the group, so I appreciate y'all.
Yes, I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you for being a part of this room. And thank you, Gina, for once again putting it together. And thank you, Jock, for coming through also. I really appreciate
representing, Jock. Representing.
Anytime.
Yes. And yeah, this was great. Like, honestly.
Yes, you guys are amazing. I can't thank you. It's been so great. Thank you all so much. Like, I have not been able to talk at all. I've just been like soaking everything in. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too, Tony.
You too.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night. Good night. Bye.
Hey, Charlotte, before we go, I know you just came up, so I wanted to know if you had any input before we jumped out of here.
No, I just wanted to say this was good. I started a pantry earlier this year. The process of I want a pantry full of herbs, so this was really good. And I'm working on acne, so.
Oh, nice. Please follow the group. Like I said, we will revisit this topic, but please follow the group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. And also, I see, I don't know if I'm saying this right, before we get out of here, Olusegun, is that correct?
Oh, no, Olusegun.
What'd you say? Olusegun.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. I sent herbs for, herbs for acne, so it's just something I'm interested in, so.
So please, when you get the chance, join our group. It's called Observing Herbs. And like I said, we have a monthly meet on weekly meet on Sundays at 7 p.m. And then we have, in between those meets, we have topics such as this. So we're going to explore teeth mineralization, and I believe herbs for hair. And we are going to revisit this acne topic because it's an important topic that affects a lot of people that haven't been able to talk with us today. So thanks again for visiting us. I really appreciate it.
Shalom.
All right, guys. I am going to get out of here before more people jump in, unless you want me to keep the room open. I have no problems with that, actually.
No, I think I'm going to go too. But thank you, Gina, for this. I will try to make sure that I'm able to check in. I saw you guys on yesterday and wasn't able to jump in, but I love the conversation. I love how well we all flow together and just the information that we share. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Amber, for stopping by. Sorry if I nudged you a little bit.
It's okay. I need that because, you know me, I'll stay and observe all night. Not say anything. Just that's the introvert in me. So I applaud you also on that because I think in another room you talked about your introversion. And so it's big ups to you for opening a club and moderating these talks because it's hard for us introverts.
Oh, thank you. Yes, you feel me. It really is. Thank you so much from the heart. even on audio, you think like I got this, but you're still like a nervous wreck, and you're like they can't even see me, but it doesn't.
I know. So thank you for the nudge.
Okay, all right, guys. So I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night. I know. How many new follows did you get? You had 20 to 30 followers? I told you, girl.
I know. I wasn't ready to do my profile and link it and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna link the new one that I created, and then I'm gonna start using that one more.
I told you I went into a room and see that's where like I went into a room and I actually when I first got into the app I actually like paid attention to like how to work this app, and it was like you have to find your passion, start a club, and like connect with your friends on like building this club.
Yeah.
And that's really how you thrive in this.
How do you create a club?
You have to go to join that Clubhouse. I gotta see like that. There's some weird shit that's not even official.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a club for doulas and birthing because there are a lot of doulas that.
And make sure it doesn't exist already. I would say that. I know there's a herb one that exists already, but they call it plant based. So mine is herbs.
Yeah.
So that's why like I noticed that it existed. I didn't. That's why I was like, let me check and see.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll start a birthing equality club or something. But name it something cooler.
Yeah. But yeah, when you have the clubs, they and then they see that you're in the club, they're more likely to follow you.
Yeah. Okay. It was great, honestly.
I love the herb talk.
It is great because you want to know what it gives. Like it allows people to think about other herbs that you wouldn't necessarily think to grab.
And you, like I wasn't thinking about some of these herbs.
Yeah, that's true.
So it allows you to let everyone learn. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
In the herb talk.
That's true.
Have to get somebody to do a jingle for us. Everyone wins in the herb talk. Everyone wins in the herb talk.
Oh my god. Okay, so we gotta figure out.
So we got
recording.
We got to figure out recording, and I got to do two. We got to do two more. So first of all, speaking of recording, I am still recording. So let's stop. It's okay. I like the banter and then.
Yeah.
And then.